right, and here we go. We are back again. Chat with Gunner, episode 27. This one is going to be a solo cast. Ethan, what's up, bro?
Nothing much.
It's been a long week for your boy over here, but glad for it to be Thursday. Glad to be in studio and glad to get ready to knock this thing out. This is going to be a quick one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, pretty quick one. Today is my parents' 50th anniversary.
Good Lord.
Could you imagine being together for 50 years with someone?
That's like twice my lifetime. So
Yeah,
no.
right. So like, I'm 29, so I pretty much have to live my life twice with myself. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
Just being with myself, but being with someone else. So they met 55 years ago. They dated like the end of middle school through high school, and then got married right out of high school, 1970. And here we are,
That's older than my mother.
Yeah, so here we are, 2020, and they've been together 50 years. So we're having to get in here to the studio a little bit early today. I'm doing a show. It's actually like 4 o'clock, so we're usually doing this thing at like 7:30. Usually have a guest. I could have had a guest on tonight, but decided to get in here and just knock one out real quick. That way I can get over to dinner with my parents for their anniversary. We're going to take them out to Ruth's Chris.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've never been.
I've heard good things.
I've heard good things as well. So we tried to get reservations yesterday, and we did. But you could only get reservations for 10 people still. 10 people due to coronavirus.
Fair enough.
Man, I get it. I do. But, like, some of this stuff is just frustrating me at this point. And now it's getting to the point to where you can do some things, but you need to wear a mask. And people are already hopping on the fence. Now it's, if you don't wear a mask, you're a bad person to society and you're trying to spread the disease and you want people to die. And it's like, no, that's not the case. I just don't want to wear a mask. If somebody can show me the numbers that a mask drastically improves the odds of me not getting or not spreading the disease, then fine. But if someone can also show me the numbers that are actually relevant to the people that have it and the people that are dying, like there's literally like a 99.8% survival rate. So I don't really understand where we're going with all this. Like we're blowing this out of proportion. But that's a different rant for a different day.
We'll rant when it's all over.
Yeah, when it's all over, when we actually see the numbers and we end up being right about it, we'll rant about it. So happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. You might be listening to this tonight after dinner or tomorrow morning, but it's truly inspirational to have a mom and dad that can stay together and be in love for 50 years and to truly be role models for me in my life. I've always wanted something like that. A lot of people's parents, especially these days, they can't stay together. Divorce rates are high. Single parents out there are high, and just not the numbers are not in your favor to have a mom and dad that are going to stay together for 50 plus years. So 55 in their case after dating. So I'm proud to call them my parents. I'm proud to be their son, and I look up to them for this. It's a strong bond. They motivate me to do that for myself, and hopefully, I'll be able to do the same thing one of these days and look back and say 50 years with someone, and that someone right now is looking very strong to be Tia. And they say that when you don't go, looking for something, you find it. And perfect timing with her. She makes me such a better person. And, take it obviously, one day at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time, one decade at a time, but it'd be really cool to look back in 50 years and say, man, we did the same thing that my parents did. So happy anniversary to my mom and dad. I will see you guys tonight for sure. Love you guys. But that's not what all this show is going to be about. This show, like I said, is going to be a solo cast. The show is going to be quick. But I just wanted to jump on here and kind of give an update about what I'm doing. I like to get on here and talk about my diets and all the different fad diets and the workouts that I'm doing and all these things. But about a little less than a month ago, I decided to try something new. Surprise! Yeah, I decided to try something new. I'm sure you guys that have been following me have heard this several times. But this is not a fad diet, and this is not what I've been doing. If you've been kind of following me for the past year, I've been doing a lot of fasting. And I think that the reason I was doing a lot of fasting is because it's simple, it's easy, takes discipline. You can eat a lot of food when you do eat, but that's kind of the pros, right? Longevity, inflammation will go down, sleep better. Supposedly your testosterone and your growth hormone spikes in the mornings. We've went over all the pros and we've covered that stuff. But we've never really focused on the cons because in pseudoscience over here, like your boy is, he didn't want to focus on the cons. He wanted to focus on the pros. And when you're dealing with fasting, a lot of the cons that you're going to see are going to be that you could possibly develop a binge eating habit once you come off of your fast. And you could still eat in a calorie surplus. So in the end goal, the whole key here is to stay in a calorie deficit if you're wanting to speed up your metabolism and burn fat. So coronavirus hits, and I'm doing a lot of fasting. And I'm not saying, it's not that I'm not seeing any improvements. I'm not seeing any changes. Like, I'm just kind of staying the same, and I'm absolutely busting it in the gym, extremely hard over the past couple months. Nothing's changing. I'm like, am I just getting older? Am my body just not adapting like it used to? Am I not going hard enough? Is it because I have a home gym now? I'm not in an actual gym. Like, I didn't know really what to think because I'm used to seeing results a lot faster. So I started doing some more research, and I ran across a guy a couple years ago on Instagram named Chris Cavallini. Chris Cavallini is the CEO of Nutrition Solutions and had a hand in helping several WWE superstars transform their physiques. Most notably, Jinder Mahal. So Jinder Mahal has a story, you can check it out in GQ, but Jinder Mahal was released from the WWE. He was, kind of just getting lost in the shuffle, lost his drive to want to be there, and he gets released, right? So he goes through a little bit of a slump. He ends up meeting Chris somehow or another, and then Chris gets him on the Nutrition Solution Plan, which is his meal prep company out of Tampa, Florida, and he completely kind of changes his physique within 2 months. Obviously he's a big, strong, powerful guy who was once in good shape, who was able to just kind of strip away a little bit of fat from partying, and there's his body again, right? So, and then he gets a call from WWE. He gets a contract back, and then in a few months, he's wrestling Randy Orton at Backlash and wins the WWE Championship, right? A really cool comeback story, a really motivating, inspiring story. So I saw that when it was happening, a couple years ago. And Rey Mysterio, also, getting up there in age, been wrestling forever, but, the past couple years in really good shape. And it's like, wow, I wonder what he's doing. And then you look at a guy like Drew McIntyre. You look at a guy like Sheamus. And then what kind of, I guess, took it over the edge, no pun intended, but Adam Copeland, Edge. So Edge had to retire from professional wrestling for several years, almost like a decade, right? Never thought he was going to wrestle again. And then this past year at the Royal Rumble, he returns. And that's great. His music hits and he gets a pop, but it's not only that. He returns and he's in fantastic shape. He's in better shape now, older than he was when he left. And then I'm looking at Edge, and he's making a post about nutrition solutions and how nutrition solutions was the key to it all. So I'm like, all right, let me wrap my head around this. I'm a smart guy, especially when it comes to diet and fitness and what I thought was nutrition. I know what it takes in nutrition. My discipline wasn't there as much as it was when it came to my working out and stuff. So I'm sitting here, and I'm not in the best shape that I want to be. I'm holding a lot of fat around, for my standards, or around my stomach and around my love handles and my thighs, and I could just be leaner, right? That's my thought process. So I get onto the Nutrition Solutions website, and I start checking it out. And I'm looking at the testimonials. It's a lot of WWE guys, but it's also just a lot of other people, and some IFBB pros, and some fitness models, and some influencers. So I'm like, okay. And then I go over to YouTube, and I go to Chris Cavallini's page, and he has this whole series that he did, over the past couple years, called Nutrition Solutions Behind the Scenes. I believe he has like 16 episodes. Now, these episodes are not highly viewed. They might have between, let's call it 100 and 2,000 views on the more higher viewed episodes. But these episodes were put together by Chris and his team. They followed Chris around the Nutrition Solutions warehouse and kind of gave you a behind the scenes look at the cooking of the food, the preparation of the food, how he interacted with his team, how he motivated them, inspired them, how he came down on them when he needed to, and then how he would critique each meal, before it was shipped out, and how the culinary team and the logistics team all meshed together, right? And I'm seeing this, and I'm also seeing the fact that Chris has a comeback story of his own, right? So this guy had been arrested 17 times before he turns 18 years old. After that, he gets into the Navy, becomes a Navy diver, gets out of that a little bit too early and starts back down a bad path, right? So when he's starting down this bad path, working at a strip club, he starts selling anabolic steroids. He gets caught up, right? And he realizes that he needs to make a change. So he makes a change. Nutrition Solutions coming along. He's doing better things. He's out of the whole gig, right? And he gets caught up with his past. Some detectives end up arresting him for some crimes that he had committed like 3 years prior. Don't quote me on this story exactly. You can go listen to the story on YouTube. He's done several podcasts and talked about it numerous times. But to break it down, the gist of things. So this guy gets arrested for selling anabolic steroids. He goes through the whole trial process, has to pay this crazy bail amount to get out, almost loses it all, right? And he's able to turn it around, and he's given that second chance, and that's what he does with this company. He gives people a second chance. He goes out and he hires people that have been in prison, and hires people that are not getting the opportunities at other employers, and he's bringing them in, and he's teaching them personal development. He's teaching them how to become the best versions of themselves, and he's creating a team environment that is perfect for what he wants to do. And the company is becoming one of the top meal prep companies in the United States. So, and I'm seeing all these great reviews about it. And I'm inspired by his story. I'm inspired by his team's story. They're all on that personal development path. He's got a podcast, the Start Today podcast, where it's all around personal development. And I'm all sucked into personal development my whole life, but I'd kind of gotten out of it for a while. And I was like, man, our paths are so parallel with like the things that we enjoy. And I know that if I want to be the best version of myself, I just gotta like sit back for a second, figure out what I'm doing currently. Figure out what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. Quit doing the things I'm doing wrong and start doing more of the things I'm doing right and double down on my strengths, right? So I'm sitting there late at night and like, you know what? I'm just going to order this nutrition solutions. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do the 6 day a week shred plan. So the gist of it, you get 4 meals 6 days a week, and they give you what they call a pro nut, which is a clean sheet, which is a donut made out of I think it's whey protein. I believe it's all healthy products, but anyways, it's a healthy way of cheating. Anyways, so I'm like, I'll try it. It's got to be worth a shot, right? Plus, I know that like if I buy this food, I eat this food, I should see results. So I do it, and it was good. All the food was excellent. It was tasty. It satisfied my palate for sure. It was enough food to keep me full. You know, you're looking to eat it every 3 to 4 hours. You know, the clean sheet is nice at nighttime. And obviously it's going to keep you in a calorie deficit. And if you're working out, it's going to work. So it was working. The problem with it being 6 days is that one day is just enough time for me to mess something up. So that, you know, I would have them all and then, you know, get Sunday, Monday when it comes, you know, you say you order them so that every week it comes on a Tuesday. So, you know, you don't get it until Tuesday night. So you're looking, you know, late Sunday, all Monday, early Tuesday, there you are without your meals. And obviously I'm not meal prepping. So I'm eating kind of whatever at that point, right? So the first week it's kind of a bust because it was really good, but then the last little bit of it, I didn't finish strong, and I struggled right there. So then here we come week 2. I order the 6 day shred yet again. Keep in mind, these 6 day shred meals, each meal is between 300 and 400 calories, 35 grams of protein, 35 carbs, and about 10 grams of fats. Great macros for losing weight. So I order that again, knowing that I'm going into vacation for Father's Day. We were taking my dad to, mom and dad, but when we were taking dad down to Fort Morgan, Alabama for Father's Day. Go deep sea fishing, just kind of an extended weekend, come home. So I knew that we would eat out a little bit there, and I would just try to make a little bit more healthier choices. So I order the 6 day meal shred, and it's great. Starting out the week strong. I love the breakfast. They either have like protein waffles or what they call like a protein bar, which I would eat. And this week I was putting regular syrup on it. I was putting honey on it and get a little bit more for my workouts. So all the meals were great. So we get down to Florida. I stay on my meal plan that Friday night. That's when we get there. I stay on my meal plan for the first half of the day Saturday, and then we go out and eat some seafood stuff. And of course, you know, I indulge there because you can't go. I mean, it's to Fort Morgan, Alabama. You can't go to the beach and not eat good seafood, eating oysters, eating shrimp, eating steak, you know, all that stuff. And then that Sunday on the way home, you know, I had a couple more meals. So I ate a couple more meals there, and then we stopped and ate once we got back home to Chattanooga, and I pigged out. I just blew it right there that Sunday night. But I fasted that Monday, and then I ate healthy that Tuesday, and I got back on path. But that week I decided, because you have to order these meals before a certain time at the end of the week. So I decided, man, I can't do the 6 day again or I'm going to mess up. So if I do the 7 day shred, which is exactly what this article that was written said that Chris Cavallini did. He did the 7 day shred and then threw in like a protein shake and, you know, like a rice cake at the end of the night with some almond butter, make some healthy snacks anyways. So I was like, I'm going to do the 7 day shred and I'm going to go all in. I'm going to pay the extra money. You know, I'm going to spend a couple $100 on this a week. and I'm going to get rid of, the majority of the supplements I was using to supplement for food. I'm going to get rid of buying food during the week at all, and I'm just going to eat these nutrition solution meals, and I'm going to see what happens. Let's see if I can lean up a little bit. And I did. So week 3, 7-day shred. Meals are great. I've got 4 meals a day. I added the clean sheets to it, so I was having a clean sheet each night, and I stuck to it. I had a perfect week, a complete perfect week. I actually went and got some Kodak protein oatmeal, which has good macros as well, in case I was to run out of any meals. That way I could just replace that, a quick 150 to 300 calories, keeping my macros the same, staying in line, and had a perfect week. So I did the same thing starting this 4th week. And this is the cool thing about Nutrition Solutions. They send you emails. They check in on you. I got a text message from one of his team members. I believe his name was Rob Mahally or O'Malley. Excuse me for messing his name up, but I get a text message from one of his team members. I get an email from several of his team members. I'm talking to their customer service, and they're replying back within an hour. And they're just, it's like they mean well, like they actually care about you. They write you personalized cards when they deliver your stuff. And it's that environment that Chris has kind of built there at Nutrition Solutions that's the reason why I'm going to keep going back as a customer. And, that's the only food that I've really had. I believe, in the past 2 weeks, I think we've ate out once or twice, and I was able to make healthy decisions right there because I knew kind of what I needed to do. I'm eating every 3.5 to 4 hours, and I'm working out twice a day. I'm throwing in at least 1 hour of personal development each day. So, for example, this past week, I've already I've already listened to 2 audiobooks, and I'm less than an hour away from finishing the 3rd one for this week. So that'll be 3 books this week. The first one was The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. The second one was Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life by Brian Tracy. And the third one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I'm almost done with it. I've started those books several times in my life and not finished. But I've been really knocking these things out. And I'm at a place right now, and I think it starts with the nutrition. I think that's the groundwork and the foundation of really having some positive days. So I just wanted to get on here, and I wanted to shout out Nutrition Solutions, and I wanted to just kind of express my gratitude for them, because this past month they have been a game changer. I'm currently right now on week 4. I've had a perfect week so far this week. I did the 7-day shred. And since I started this whole process, this is going to sound crazy, and it is what it is. I'm eating, at least 4 meals a day with either a protein shake and a snack. So roughly 6 times every 3.5 to 4 hours. And, I've dropped 14 pounds, legit pounds. So from 222 to 208. Now, this is the lightest I've been all year. And I've tried to do several mini cuts, and I would get down to like 212, 214, and then I would just get tired of fasting so much, or I'd fasting all day, or, just kind of depleting myself. Or I'd get hungry and I'd just pig out, and then I'd jump back up to 218, 219, and just hold water and bloat. But right now, man, I'm waking up, and it's crazy. I'm waking up every day seeing more and more results. I haven't been this lean, I don't think, ever. And one of the motivations for this is that we're starting back up at Southern Honor Wrestling. The next show is August 28th, Canton, Georgia. So we're going to do the Rumble Jack. I'll be a part of that show, and then moving forward, we'll be doing them, once a month like we were doing. I've got a bunch of good stories coming up, a bunch of great matches coming up with a bunch of great talent. I have a new fire burning inside me for professional wrestling. I feel like the old me's coming back a little bit, and I went through a bitter phase, and I've talked about that, and I said a bunch of things that, not that I didn't mean, but just things that I should have just held back and not said. And now that I'm kind of intertwining all these things together with my personal development and my fitness and nutrition, and just kind of throwing it out there to the world and setting my goals, and I'm starting to find that passion again for pro wrestling. And because I know that if anybody has what it takes to make it, I know it's me. I don't know how to tell you that. I just know it's me. Like, I can see what people are doing, and I know that I can do it. So why not me? That's the question that I've been asking myself. Why not me? I can tell you why not me. I've been holding myself back. I'm not going to do that anymore. Still not going to ask for anything. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get that respect back. So Nutrition Solutions is a huge part of this process for me. It's really grounding me. It's my foundation, and that, it's just back to the basics. They say 90% of, having the body that you want is following that diet. 10% of the training. That's the fun part. So I'm taking the aspect of the 90-10 rule not only into that, but also into I'm eating 90% clean, whole, good, healthy food that's good to fuel my body, and then I'm gonna maybe 10% of like social eating. Like tonight I'm gonna go out to Ruth's Chris. I'm probably gonna enjoy a steak. We like to go to First to Watch on the weekend. Shout out to First to Watch, because Marcus likes to go there, so we'll probably go over there, and I'll probably enjoy some eggs and a waffle or something like that. So, but all this is going to I'm going to reveal my greatest physique, my greatest look, my greatest body on August 28th. And that's a damn promise. Like, it's not like, I don't know what I'm going to weigh. And I've always been scared to weigh not enough. Like, I've always wanted to be a certain weight because I thought you had to be a certain size to look a certain way. Well, that's obviously not the case. People are getting opportunities that, weigh a lot less than me. So I know I'm athletic enough. I know I got the mindset. I know I'm coachable. I got the look. I can talk. Like, been proven I can talk, obviously. I get up here and talk for an hour every week. So I've been putting the practice in there. So now it's just getting the opportunity to be in front of the right person at the right time and to pass the eye test. And the eye test these days is how shredded are you on TV? And are you doing it natural? So here I stand. I'm natural, standing right here. And I'm going to be shredded August 28th. I'm going to be in the best shape of anyone in that action building. And that's a promise. So I hope that if you're one of the wrestlers listening, I hope that you take this, take that as motivation, take that as a challenge, and try to beat me. Because August 28th is going to be a show, and it's going to be a show where I show out. And that's going to be all when I come out the curtain. Everybody's like, oh, that's what that guy's been doing during quarantine. I'm going to say, yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing the last half of quarantine. I've been getting in the best shape of my life. So I'm anxious to see what my body weight's going to be when I get my leanest. I was hoping not to dip down below 200 pounds, but man, if I'm 195 pounds and I've got an 8-pack and you can see all my muscles, why be any heavier, right? I mean, obviously I'm strong, I'm fast, athletic enough. I don't know why I would do anything else. So I'm excited, man. It's like I've been born again. I don't know. It's weird, Ethan. It's very weird. I'm excited about it though. Has to have something to do with the personal development stuff I'm doing right now, the books I'm reading. By August 28th, I'll let everybody know, but I'm going to see how many books I can read and how lean I can get. I want to be sub 10% body fat, and we'll see. I think I'm getting rid of this beard too. I think there's going to be a whole new me, bro.
I don't think you can do that.
I think
it's part of the brand now, man.
Nah, man.
Yikes.
Part of the brand is, I don't know what the brand is, but we're going to have a new brand here soon. So
we just made this one.
Yeah, I know. This is an ever evolving brand. But how long is that?
It's 30 minutes.
30
not
minutes?
Too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. All right, what else we got? There's no UFC this weekend, unfortunately. However, though, next weekend we get the first UFC Fight Island, and man, that card is ridiculous. So excited to watch that, and watch all this personal development, all this diet, all this positive thinking, all this forward momentum. I'm gonna hit the DraftKings. It's inevitable. It's inevitable at this point.
Man, you're just setting yourself up for failure, man.
It's inevitable at this point. I'm going to hit it. And
gotta believe in it.
Yeah. And at that point, we'll put you on salary when we hit DraftKings.
Oh, thank God.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to I think that's it. I think that's all we got. Next week, got a couple people that I'm thinking about bringing on. The cool thing about it is no one's telling me no. I haven't asked anyone that's saying they don't want to do the show. So I still have a lot of people to get on here and to talk about and to talk to. I got some people that I want to talk through some things with, especially when it comes to wrestling. I think there's no better forum than this right here. I mean, I was able to get on here and bash people without anyone in studio. I should be able to sit in here and talk to people like adults with people in studio. So this is going to be a good, strong end of the year. You know, we're through the first half of 2020. You know, episode 26 was halftime. So this is the first drive of the third quarter of 2020. And I know out there a lot of people are struggling. Coronavirus lockdowns, shutdowns. You know, people are unemployed, protest, the BLM movement, we're in an election year, cops are killing people. Like, it's crazy times out there, and everyone wants to pick a side and pick a team and just drive it home, right? I challenge everyone, if you're listening to this, to focus on your personal development as much as you're focusing on what the news is telling you and what social media is trying to tell you. Then, if you want to, figure out what the topic is they're talking about and go do some research for yourself. And then, if you want to, say something about it. But really kind of do some research, make some decisions for yourself, and just be smart. But first and foremost, I think we need to focus on your person. If you're not focused on your personal development, if you're not doing all the right things for yourself first, who are you to bash anyone else? And that's kind of where I've been. If I'm not doing all the things, to my standards or higher for myself, who am I to bash someone else for getting an opportunity and seizing the moment, right? I can't do that. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to be, get back to my true ways, and I'm hoping this kind of takes a turn for the good, and I mean, it has to, right? So a bunch of good things coming up. We got a strong second half of 2020. I think we're going to finish strong. We're going to have a bunch of great guests. No one's telling me no. We're going to have a bunch of great conversations. I'm going to use the law of attraction, and I'm going to get some people on this show that people didn't think that I could get on this show. And I'm going to have some conversations with some people that people don't expect me to have conversations with. And I'm going to set some goals, and people are going to laugh at them. And I'm going to exceed those goals. That's what's going to happen for the remainder of 2020. And then we're going to hit 2021 strong. I'm already calling our shot right here. I know that, I know what we average on a weekly basis as far as listeners. The next goal for us is to have 500 weekly listeners, and then we'll go from there. So we're gonna Grant Cardone it. We're gonna 10x all of our goals. We're gonna go after them, but you can't hit your goals unless you talk about them, unless you set them, unless you let people know about them. That's kind of the law of attraction. If you don't know about the law of attraction, I suggest you go out and check that out. There's a documentary on Netflix called The Secret. You can also check out that book. It's really good. I watched that when I was in college, and I've read that book several times. So, all right. I hope that everyone's doing well out there. I hope that you are having a great week so far. You're ending your week strong. You have a fantastic 4th of July. You blow some things up. You spend some time with family. give some people a hug, put your arm around them, tell them you love them, and take this moment to really hone in and focus on your dash, right? You're born with a date and you die with a date. It's both going to be on your tombstone. So what's that dash represent? It's a very small mark, but what's that going to represent? That's your life. We're only here for a very short time. The amount of time that we're actually on this planet, 70 to 100 years is not a lot of time in the grand scheme of things. So, take advantage of it. Quit being so negative. Be a little bit more positive. And we will see you next week. I don't know if we'll have a guest. If we do, I'll mention it on the Facebook moving forward. I know that I've got 2 guys. This is an episode I do want to do, and it's going to happen for sure. There's 2 guys that are dedicated to this show, watching this show. They went to high school with me. They support this show. They talk to me about this show. And they're the 2 guys that actually won the drawing that I never actually did on here, but we did the drawing and they won the hat or shirt, whichever one they wanted to elect to get. And the reason why they did is because that they watched the show and they support the show and they followed the rules, which not many people did, so it wasn't hard to pick who was going to win. So Heath Williams and Aaron Smith, those guys, we're going to get those guys onto the show for sure. I'm excited to talk to them, and that kind of shows you that, if you support the show, man, and if you if you're like about this life, as far as like fitness, nutrition, personal development, watching UFC, some of the things, if you're about some of the things that I'm about, and you watch the show for this reason, or you listen to the show for this reason, or you share the show for this reason, or you review the show for this reason, like, dude, come into the studio and let's sit down and talk. Like, I would love to have a conversation with some of the people that are, I don't want to call it fans, but supporters of the show, right? And then we'll ask them questions. We'll ask them, how can we make it better? How can we get some more listeners? What else would you like to hear me cover? Should I do some research and like actually do like some more educational shows? Because I enjoy that. I just don't know if people want to hear it. So, shoot me messages in my DMs, comment on my Facebook, however you want to get in touch with me. Text me if you have my number, and let's put together some topics that we want to talk about, some questions that you want answered. Nothing's off the table. I'll talk about anything. I'm an open book. I think I've made that pretty clear, and I'm just excited to finish out the year strong, man. So everyone, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you here next week on Chat with Gunner. We appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.